Hey guys, Tim here, and yeah, not an unboxing this time. Very unusual. I believe I've only basically did unboxings and showing off being in Japan and stuff for probably 5+ years now. That's basically all I've done. Used to do discussion videos like this quite a bit, so yeah, let's do a discussion video. So recently it's been making the rounds again that localizers are bad, translators are bad, dub anime voice actors are bad, and yeah, this is literally something we've known for years. It's gotten a lot more prevalent lately because it's getting they're getting a lot more overt with what they're inserting, whereas well, yeah, even in the past it was very overt. You had studios like 4Kids, which of course made changes. We all know Pokemon with the infamous rice balls being called donuts and stuff like that, localizing changes back then, which I don't know. I guess we just accepted it more back then because we didn't know any better, and I didn't even notice that as a kid. And you have a lot of the YouTubers now, like, who are they showing up in my feed? You watch one of the videos and it starts showing all the videos who all's been making videos about this. It's like Yellow Flash, Hero Hey, Rev Says Des, and they're talking a lot about tourist. So thought I would come in and give my 2 cents on the thing because I am definitely not a tourist, and unlike them, I've been in the anime and manga game for 15 years on YouTube now, making anime and manga videos, and I've been an anime fan since the 90s, been a manga fan since the early 2000s. So, yeah, over 20 years experience. I think I should be able to give some input on this. Um, but I guess the thing that's been really making the rounds again is unfortunately the thing that everyone already knows about Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid. Whenever that dub came out, thankfully I was spared that dub. I never got to watch that dub, but I do know about the localization and inserting the patriarchy line. But a series that I did actually watch the dub of, because this was back when I was still watching dubs, poor me. That series that no one is talking about anymore. I believe people talked about it possibly at the time, but no one's been mentioning it since. And that is Prison School. This is another example of very bad localization. No one's been mentioning it, and there's a certain line in it. One that I really know about. There might be more changes in it because again, I haven't rewatched it in Japanese. I've only watched it one time, and that was the English dub. And it was the Gamergate line, and that felt really out of place even back then. Gamergate was relatively new, I guess, whenever this got dubbed. This was dubbed a long time ago. I don't remember exactly when, but it's been quite a while since that was dubbed. And no one's mentioning that, so yes, it's not just the one line. Funimation is notorious for inserting propaganda and stuff, and we have a lot of that in manga publishers now too, where like Seven Seas came under fire, what was it, like a year or two ago, where they basically made like a gender bent character trans, and they was calling them trans in the series whenever. Yeah, it's clearly not, like they're trying to rewrite history and make it where gender bending is not a thing, and there's a lot of manga and to a lesser extent anime where it is straight up gender bender, where the guy becomes a girl. What is it? Project H released one years ago. Kyo something te, Kyokote, or whatever it was. And then you have Viz many years ago, the 6 volume series. Pretty Face, I believe it was. That one was a gender bend. Gender bending has been a huge thing, but unfortunately with the trans movement becoming so prevalent here in the West, they've been trying to, I guess, change gender bending into just meaning trans. And luckily, Seven Seas went back and did that, and I am very against any type of changes. I like for the translators. I hate localizers. I wish they was not a thing, but I do respect translators in a way because they are just translating. They are not localizing, even though sometimes they are the same person. But sometimes, in the case with like Jamie Market with Kobayashi Dragon Maid, she did not translate the series. She took a script and localized it. That is a different thing. So I have a little bit of a softer spot for translators. Because it is hard. It's very difficult to translate Japanese to English and English to Japanese. It's the languages, they do not mesh well at all. In my experiences learning Japanese and going hopefully going to college in Japan for a while, and just recently took the JLPT. I've been studying Japanese off and on for probably about a year now, and I've been hitting it really hard since I got back from Japan, and I'm coming up on intermediate level. So, but unfortunately, something that no one is really mentioning, they're mentioning it about the dubs. There's also localizing changes happening in subtitles, and this is something that I didn't really notice until I started learning Japanese and picking up on it whenever I'm listening to it. Because a lot of the times I'll watch an anime first, I'll watch it with like English subtitles, and then I'll rewatch it again later, just no subtitles, just raw Japanese, and trying to listen. And since my Japanese has been getting better, I've been able to notice there is a lot of changes that they're making where the subtitles, English subtitles is not matching what they're saying in Japanese, and they're taking liberties with that. Something that I've noticed very recently, a couple of series that I've been watching, Hyakano, the 100 Girlfriends That Really, Really, Really Like You, or whatever the English title is. In that one, there was lines like, what was it? It was like Chad, and what was the other one? PETA was another one. And there's just slang in it and terms from English that are not in the Japanese version, and that is localizing that I'm not a fan of. You do not need to insert things like that into the subtitles, and I'm very much against that. I do not like that localizing. And another example, a series that's going on right now that I just started watching, Hokkaido Girls. I can't believe Hokkaido Girls are this cute. I know the Japanese title, but I'm trying to remember the English title. It's the Hokkaido Girls one from this season. And even whenever I'm watching that, there's changes, and it just takes me out of it because I'm listening to it in Japanese and I'm kind of translating it in my head, and I'm reading the subtitles at the same time. And then I see like English slang mixed in, and I do not like that because there was like mid, and there was a line by the guy where it was just breaking down the boundaries or whatever, and that was really out of place. So yeah, localizing is still very prevalent outside of even dubs. I hate it that way too. I wish they would just translate it as best they could without localizing. You don't need to insert American pop culture terms and terminology. You don't need to insert patriarchy and Gamergate and stuff like that. I am very much against all of this. I believe most people are, and unfortunately, with the way the industry is here in the West, it's a clique. It's honestly just a clique. All of the voice actors are in this clique. All of the translators here are in the clique. And if you do not fall in line with their ideas and views, you are blacklisted. You're not allowed to work in the industry because the people that are in it have these views and they're really high up. Yeah, it's just really unfortunate. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents about it as far as localizing. But as far as voice actors being bad, well, yeah, we have a lot of voice actors that are bad. Some recent examples that I can think of, what was his name? Scott Freeman, I believe was one of their names. And what was it? Chris Thurman. These are two people that was outed for something with minors, and they are Funimation voice actors. But of course, they didn't get the limelight that Vic did. And unfortunately for Vic, I believe he's mostly innocent. I believe he is basically completely innocent. That's just the way he is, and of course with him being a white male and Christian, they don't like that. That's just the way the industry is now. You have a lot of people, Funimation, Crunchyroll, really high up people, Christopher Sabat, that all threw him under the bus, and it's really unfortunate. And you have Jamie Markey and Monica Rao that are just horrible people, honestly. And of course, their beliefs with localizing and translating, they're going to keep inserting this stuff. There's really no way to get around it other than learning the language like I am. I have no idea how you can change it because, like I said, it's in a click. You're not going to be able to change the voice actors. You have Aneris Quinones, who's basically racist, believes you can only voice the skin color that you are. There's a lot of voice actors like that now, and they've only hired people with these views, and as far as I can see in the future, I don't see that changing. There's no way to fix the market unless like new companies come up, and I believe Vic is working with some people with Anime Matsuri. They might be doing something. I don't really know. You have Right Stuff, which was doing some stuff with like kickstarting anime to make dubs for it in-house, and unfortunately when Funimation and Sony bought them out, Crunchyroll bought them out, they're just not around anymore. So unless we get some new publishers and new translators, and really there's nothing we can do about it because they're unionized and you can't kick these people out. You would have to start a new company and eventually they're going to work their way in. They don't create, they just come in, make it toxic, and try to make it their own to promote their own agendas. There's really nothing we can do about it other than learning Japanese and consuming the media that way. Or I guess fan subs if you're doing it that way, or raw scans, fan scanlations. You can do like I started doing even before I started learning Japanese. I started just buying the manga in Japanese and I would read scans. I wouldn't even buy the English manga anymore because English manga, a lot of the times, the translations, well, honestly, a lot of them are pretty good. I can't doubt them for that. But unfortunately, as time's going on and as far as things becoming more and more political, I don't see it changing. I see it just becoming more and more worse. So yeah, it's unfortunate. And with anime becoming even more mainstream than it was even 5 years ago, it's just gonna get worse. You have Hollywood and Netflix trying to make a huge push, the streaming service trying to make a push into taking over anime basically and making all these live actions. And yeah, you have Westerners sitting in on committee boards for anime being made in Japan. And really, I could see in like 5 to 10 years anime not really resembling anything that it used to be. We already do not see fan service series as much as we used to. We don't see those as much anymore. It's fewer and fewer fan service series. They're trying to work that out, and yeah, it's just really unfortunate. And everything's becoming a lot more homogenized, and yeah, there's really nothing we can do unless something drastic changes. There's really nothing we can do, especially here for the Western market. You can keep supporting Funimation and Crunchyroll, Viz, but all these companies, they don't really care about the products that they produce. And the ones that want to insert their agendas, they're too high up to be replaced. So there's nothing we can do about it. So yeah, that's my 2 cents, and I will see you in the next video. Later.